Okay, we know that Georgia has been dominant on defense, like some of the best defense maybe that we've ever seen. But we also know that Iowa and Penn State, matchup coming up this Saturday, have been playing great on the defensive side. Here's where they're ranking right now in the college football world in terms of top scoring defenses. These are your top three: Georgia, Iowa, and Penn State. All giving up less than basically 12 points a game. Obviously, Georgia, ridiculous, 4.6. But here's the thing. They all play very distinctly different styles of defense. Okay, so there's more than one way to skin a cat here when you're talking about stopping the opponent. So how does that work? What styles of defense do they play? Well, let's take a look. Let's deep dive into what we're actually seeing from these defenses. We'll start with Georgia. Georgia's defense, listen, they win on defense with overwhelming dominant force and superior talent. Kind of a shock and awe mentality. And that's exactly what happened against Arkansas. That game was basically over before it started. Let's take a look at early in this game what Georgia was doing defensively to stop Arkansas. First of all, right here, you've got a third down early in the game, the first third down of the game, and just a win from the defensive tackle. So if we look at this even from the top view, you got a one-on-one matchup. It's a push-pull, and he's into the quarterback. Boom. The sack the quarterback, you're next to your own goal line, and it's over. There's the one-on-one right here. The quarterback's in the backfield. Boom. Push, pull, overwhelming dominant force and superior talent. He gets a sack early in the game. Now we move on, and this is still early in the game. You're down basically 14-0 at this point. What is Arkansas doing? Well, they're trying to run the football. They've got the numbers. It's 7 for 7. You can block the defensive front, but can you? Overwhelming superior talent. Stuff the run without run ratios. Without run ratio. Again, you've got 7 guys in the defensive box, 7 guys up front for Arkansas. You're supposed to be able to run the ball into that look. It's supposed to be a dominant run team. They give the fake, boom. No chance. Absolutely no chance. And if you take a look at what Georgia was able to do early in that football game, at one point, Arkansas had run 3 offensive plays, 2 penalties for -5 yards. And they were down 14-0. Shock and awe. There was no chance that Arkansas was going to come back from that because you weren't going to get the ability to score a bunch of points against this Georgia defense. And like that, 3 offensive plays, the game was basically over. Basically over. Dominant force, superior talent, shock and awe. Bam! It's like an atomic bomb goes off right away. Arkansas was done. Didn't matter what was going to happen the rest of the game. They were never coming back from a 14-0 deficit in that game. So now let's take a look at how Iowa wins on defense, which is distinctly different from the shock and awe and superior talent that Georgia uses. How does Iowa win on defense? They win on defense with steady, disciplined play that relies on effort and sound structure. They are suffocating. They don't mind if you gain a few yards here and there because eventually they feel like you're going to make a mistake. They're going to play the same defense over and over and over again, rally to the football, and then you will make a mistake eventually. It's suffocating like a boa constrictor. They just wrap their arms around you, and eventually they succeed. Let's take a look at the Maryland game, and I'll show you exactly what was going on. Here's early in the game, and here's the structure I'm talking about. It's called corner, safety, and then you've got a half into the boundary, okay? So they're going to give up some yardage on this play. Makes a nice read to Tagovailoa, makes a nice read. They get a completion. They try to rally up, miss tackle. Okay, hey, looking, it's a first down. Well, what are they going to do? Let's go to the next play now. What's the next play look like for Iowa? Same exact structure. You're going to have the quarter, half, and then what do we see? All right, well, they're just going to flip this out. They think, okay, we're going to try to gain a few yards. Well, look at the hustle and the effort. Look at all these Iowa defenders. Okay, this is the kind of the suffocating style I'm talking about. They're hustling, they're pursuing to the football, gain a few yards. Now let's go to the next snap. What does the next snap look like? Well, it's the same structure, quarter, half. They know what their job is. Now you're going to get a little flip out there, and what do you see again? Positive yards, but look at all the Iowa defenders. You're not giving up the first down. They're continuing to suffocate you. They're in the right spot the entire time. Well, what does that lead to later in the game? Let's go to the next clip and see what that leads to. Same structure, quarter, half. Now let's look at the linebacker's technique in a straight drop back. He knows his job. So he's going to carry this vertical route with his eyes on the quarterback because he's in zone coverage. And as he gets depth, he's going to force a very tight window throw that gets tipped up and it's intercepted. They made a mistake. They forced a mistake. I want to go back to that play because what we're going to see here is the tight window throw. the linebacker is forcing the quarterback to throw it over his head and yet short of the safety. It's called a layered throw. This is one of the toughest throws to make for a quarterback. He tries to fit it in. That's a mistake. The tip ball. Did you know that 5 of Iowa's 12 interceptions have come on tips? Why do they get tips? Because all of their eyes are on the quarterback. That suffocating zone defense forces you to eventually make a mistake. So they don't win with overwhelming force and superior talent. It's sound structure, it's effort, it's discipline, and it's suffocating. That's how Iowa wins on defense. Well, how is that different, Georgia, Iowa, from Penn State? How does Penn State win on defense? Well, it's very different. They win on defense with multiple looks, athleticism, and length. They've got some great players, clearly, right? Now, they've got a couple of transfers that have helped them on the defensive line, but their athleticism and length, the linebacker spot, and maybe more importantly, at the secondary spots, allows them to take chances up front, allow for tight coverage, and then they force the quarterback to make decisions quicker than he wants to make them. Okay, so that's the multiple looks. It's confusing. It's confusing for the offensive line. It's confusing for the quarterback. And then they allow the athleticism and length to take control. Athletic and opportunistic. Let's take a look at the way Penn State wins on defense. Here is the Indiana game. They would eventually shut Indiana out. What do we got right here? Well, you're going to take advantage of that athleticism by playing man coverage. You got man coverage with one safety in the middle of the field. But look at this blitz look, okay? So you're going to get all sorts of twisting and slanting, and now here they come. Michael Penix is going to try to throw this football short. He's got an athletic corner out here that is making a nice play, but the ball gets batted down at the line of scrimmage because he's got to make the decision quickly, and he's trying to get the ball out of his hands as quick as he possibly can. That's very difficult for a quarterback. Let's go to the next play now. The next play that we've got, and it's a similar look, right? No, it's not. It's straight man across the board with no safety in the middle of the field. So now you're going to overwhelm the pass protection with more guys than they can block. And I understand a defensive tackle is going to drop out, but he initially comes in order to get the tackle to bite the offensive line, and now you've got a free run at the quarterback. Now, even though the quarterback gets away, this is what's the beauty of this play. Even though the quarterback gets away and it's not actually a sack, you're forcing him to play faster than he wants to play, and he ends up not being able to make a tight window throw. Man-to-man, no safety, overwhelm the passing protection, force the quarterback to speed up his clock, make a decision before he wants to. He steps up in the pocket. Now he's trying to flip the ball out, and you've got tight coverage with athletic corners on that outside. Let's take a look at the next play for Penn State. Here's what we got. Same look that I was just talking about. No safeties in the middle. You're going to get man coverage. But this offensive line does enough in protection to give Penix the opportunity to throw the ball. But his clock is too fast. He makes the wrong choice. He's got to throw this under out, which is wide open. But he's been peppered by these multiple looks. He's like, I got to get this ball out of my hands. Again, no safety. You're going to have man-to-man coverage. You've got an overwhelming blitz coming from the Penn State defensive front, and he doesn't make the right read because it's constantly confusing. It's hard to slow down as a quarterback, and he makes the wrong read and throws into a tight window man coverage. Folks, this is what's so good about Penn State. Now let's go back in time to the Wisconsin game. Okay, you're going to see kind of a similar deal where they're going to force a mistake from a quarterback. It looks like zero coverage, man coverage, no safeties. They're going to blitz these linebackers, but they're going to drop defensive linemen out. What they're trying to get is they're trying to get the running back to come up and block the blitz. Why? So that they can free up this safety to roam in the middle of the field. So it's very confusing. So sure enough, here the running back blocks. Now that man defender, he can slide over, cover the tight end, and he gets a pick. That was a fourth down pick, basically won the game for them against Wisconsin. So again, it's a confusing defense with multiple looks, and they're trying to get the quarterback to make mistakes, and they normally do. So you can win with suffocation, but you can also win with athleticism and opportunistic play. So now we've got these three defenses over here that are the top scoring defenses in the country. How do they win? Well, you win with overwhelming dominant force, superior talent. You win by suffocating the opponent for Iowa. This is a team that plays steady defense, sound defense. You can win with athleticism and length, multiple looks, being opportunistic, and forcing tight windows. There's a lot of different ways to play great defense. These three defenses right now are playing the best in the country, but they're doing it in very different ways. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here. College football on Fox.